So today's class would be based on speed and velocity. So give heading speed. Speed is what? First let us know that speed is a scalar quantity. That means it has got no direction. Okay. The speed is defined as the rate of change of distance or displacement. What do you think? As it is a scalar quantity, it cannot be displacement, so it would be distance. Rate of change of distance. This is speed. So speed equals to rate of change of distance. Now one thing I am telling you, wherever you find a rate, this term rate, this rate term will mean divided by time. Divide the term by time. So this simple meaning of rate. Anywhere you get this term rate, it will mean the rate of change, it will mean divided by time. So what we get? Speed is a scalar quantity which is nothing but rate of change of distance travelled by a particle, isn't it? So travelled by a particle. So rate of change of distance travelled by a particle. So this is the definition of speed. And if a particle displaces, if a particle travels a distance s in time t, then its speed is given by distance travelled divided by time, because it is rate of changing the distance or travelling the distance, that is s by t. This is speed. And s is here distance, remember this, s is here distance travelled, path travelled like this. Okay. Now let us go to velocity. What is velocity? So velocity would be rate of, अरे सेम हो रहा है क्या? No, rate of change of, अभी भी सेम हो रहा है, but not distance now. This would be displacement, rate of change of displacement. This is velocity. So the term you need to remember is displacement. And as we know, displacement is a vector quantity. Displacement in last class we did, displacement is a vector quantity. So velocity also is a vector quantity. So vector quantity means it has got both magnitude, that is value, as well as a certain direction. So velocity has got magnitude and direction. What is the magnitude? Magnitude is rate of change of displacement. Now to understand this, v equals to velocity equals to, if the displacement is s, then divided by t. अरे formula तो same ही हो गया, पिछला बार भी किए थे. In the last case we did s by t, here also we are doing s by t, but in last case s will mean distance travelled. We have to find that distance travelled. Similarly in this case we have to find displacement made. So we have to find s depending on whether it is speed, then find the total path travelled. If it is if you are going to find velocity, then find displacement. And just for a revision, we did this in last class. Just for a revision, let us do this thing. What? If a particle travels a distance from A to, just a minute. If a particle travels a distance from A to B and then B to C and then C to D. If this distance A to B equals to A, B to C is also equal to A. These two are equal, though not appearing, but please imagine that these two are equal. अच्छा इसको थोड़ा छोटा बना देता हूँ. Now it may appear that these two are equal. So AB is A, BC is also A, length. but CD is half of that. These are given. So, write given. Given are ABA, BCA and CD A by 2. Now, there is a particle or say a person, no problem. Suppose person is walking from A towards B. So, the person reaches from A to B, then the person travels all the line from B to C, and then finally the person travels from C to D. This is the path. This is also given that total time taken by the person, total time taken by the person equals to say T. T may be 10 seconds, 20 seconds like that. So, these are given. Now, we need to find what? We need to find speed of the person and we need to find velocity of the person. Speed of the person and velocity of the person. Okay. So, this is the question. Let us try to solve this like this. Because वो books में definition कितना भी पढ़ लो याद कर लो, best is understanding by doing numericals, analyzing facts, you learn better. So, let us analyze this fact. A reaches B, then C, then finally D. What is the speed? Now, in speed, the main thing that you should look for is this term, distance or path travelled by the particle. So, distance is a scalar quantity, doesn't depend on direction. Distance is total path travelled. So, speed, if we want to find speed, speed of this person is total path travelled divided by total time taken. Total time, though T, it is given here. So, total path travelled is very easy. A, then it moved another A, then it moved A by 2. So, total path travelled is A plus A by 2. पर ये तो अलग अलग डायरेक्शन में गया ना. A अलग डायरेक्शन में सीधा, ये नेक्स्ट A नीचे, ये पीछे. तो we don't need to look after that because speed is a scalar quantity and it has got nothing to do with directions. Then we just need to find total path travelled, whatever be the direction. Clear? So, total path travelled is this and total time is T. So, it comes out to be 1 plus 1, 2 plus half, that means 2 and half, that is 5 by 2. 5 by 2A divided by T. So, 5 by 2 A by T is the speed of this person. Sum khatam, one part complete. The second part is we have to find velocity. Now, for velocity V, we have to find displacement of the particle. Now, displacement in time T and rate of displacement, that means rate of displacement means divided by total time taken. But the displacement is to be found like this. The shortcut, simple idea of finding displacement that makes the sum very easy is from first point to the last point. That is the meaning of displacement. First point to last point. याद रखो shortcut है. First point to last point. So, first point the person started from is A and last point that the person reached is D. So, this is the displacement. Straight line से join कर दो. Just draw a straight line. किधर? From first point to last point. किधर भी हो. Start from first point and it will end to the last point. So, this is the displacement and we are looking for this length of this dotted line, and the length of this dotted line can easily be found. How? Just look for a triangle all the time you will be given like this, look for a triangle, but there is no triangle. We can see a trapezium but not a triangle here. Then make one. Triangle बना लो. कैसे? ये रहा एक perpendicular. लो draw कर लिया perpendicular. So if this BC side is A, then this perpendicular should also be having a length A. So this is also A. We understand this. Another thing, सनसनी तेज खुलासा, वो क्या है? Because this is a by 2, so if you move straight up, you will be finding this perpendicular would be dividing this into two equal parts. Because if this is a by 2, this should also be a by 2. So we are interested in finding this to be a by 2. लाभ क्या है? Look at this triangle, pox triangle को देखो, इसको pox हो गया, pox हो गया इसको. हाँ, look at this pox triangle. Here, this is a by 2 and this is a, and they are 90 degree. So isn't it a right angle triangle where we can apply Pythagoras theorem? So this hypotenuse can be found, मैं ये side में लिख रहा हूँ. This hypotenuse can be written as root over of perpendicular square plus base square. तो एक हुआ a by 2 square and the second one is a. So a by 2 square ये and a square ये, तो ये दोनों का स्क्वायर रूट करने से क्या मिल जाएगा? दिस हाइपोटेन्यूज. ये हाइपोटेन्यूज कौन है? दिस इज द शॉर्टेस्ट डिस्टेंस और स्ट्रेट लाइन डिस्टेंस और डिस्प्लेसमेंट ऑफ द पार्टिकल. दैट्स इट. चलो निकालते हैं इसको. भाई तू हट जा, तू भी हट जा, तू भी हट जा. हाँ ठीक है. नाउ द पिक्चर इज क्लीन एंड क्लियर एंड इजी. सो दिस हाइपोटेन्यूज इज ऑफ लेंथ रूट ओवर ऑफ ए स्क्वायर बाय 4 प्लस ए स्क्वायर. कितना आ रहा है देखो? ए स्क्वायर बाय 4 प्लस ए स्क्वायर. सो 5 ए स्क्वायर बाय 4 है ना. तो इसमें से 5 तो कुछ कर नहीं पाएगा, रूट का अंदर रह जाएगा जिंदगी भर, बट a and divided by 4 will come out as 2. So root 5a by 2. This is the root 5a by 2. This is the length of this hypotenuse. Root 5a by 2. You can write like this also. Root 5a by 2. Okay. So displacement is, we got it, root 5a by 2 divided by time. Time तो दिया हुआ है t. So this is the answer. Root 5 a by 2t. This is the velocity. So velocity is this much, root 5 a by 2t, and the displacement is that much. How much? I mean sorry, the speed is how much? 5 a by t. तो a by t तो दोनों में है, a by t. अच्छा नीचे 2 तो दोनों में है, इसमें भी है, इसमें भी है, नीचे 2. डिफरेंस किस में आया? स्पीड और वेलोसिटी में. द स्पीड कंटेन्स द न्यूमरेटर, न्यूमरेटर में स्पीड कंटेन्स द नंबर 5, whereas velocity contains the number root 5. Now which number is greater, 5 or root 5? 5 is greater than root 5. So we can say speed is greater than velocity as far as the magnitude is concerned, means the value. Okay, अगर ये क्वेश्चन थर्ड आता है कि क्वेश्चन नंबर 3, add this to the question, which one is greater? Which one is greater? तो ये हम लोग वैल्यू निकाल के देखें कि अच्छा ये तो स्पीड ज्यादा आ गया वेलोसिटी से, एंड इट इज नॉट that it came greater in this case only. It is always that speed is या तो greater than velocity or equal to velocity. Just write that as a short question or MCQ. Speed all the time in any case everywhere is either greater or maybe equal to velocity. This is 100 बात की एक बात. This is हाँ. Oh.
So she had to wait.
Okay, okay. No problem. No problem. Sit down. Okay. But you showed up. That's the spirit. Very good. चलो. अच्छा, you have no problem understanding Hindi? No problem. তোমার problem नहीं तो हिंदी ते देखबे भालो लागबे शिखले भालो. So speed greater than velocity or speed equal to velocity. Speed greater than equal to velocity. When speed is greater than equal to velocity, see speed was Speed was, as we have learned the definition, distance travelled. So, distance travelled by time, that is speed. And velocity is what? Velocity is displacement of the particle which is divided by time. Displacement by time, distance by time. If you divide anything by time, that means what? Rate. Rate. That means rate of change of displacement, displacement by time. Rate of change of distance, distance by time. Rate means divided by time. So, distance travelled by time is called speed. Total rasta, path travelled by time. And displacement divided by time is called velocity. Keep in mind firmly, because we are going to go in detail of this later. But let us understand this. If speed is greater than or equal to velocity, then this also holds good. The distance by time is greater than or equal to displacement by time. Now, if you cancel time and time from both sides, we get another question answer, that is distance travelled or path travelled is greater than or equal to displacement. This is another truth of our lives, means physics. Distance greater than or equal to displacement. Okay. So, this is one important relation, this is one important relation. Okay. Now, let us start with measuring them again. How? Suppose a particle moves in a circular path. So, let me draw a circle. I have a, oh my God, what a beautiful circle I have drawn. One of the best circles I have ever drawn. Anyway, please consider this as a very good triangle, a circle. So, I keep myself encouraged by these things, saying these things. You also do this. So, this is the center O. A particle is at this position. This position, let us call this A, and the particle moved to B along the circle. So, a particle moves from A to B along the circle of radius capital R. This is given. So, a particle moves from A to B, that is along the circle of radius R, in 10 seconds. Okay. In 10 seconds, you have to find what? You have to find number 1, speed of the particle, and number 2, velocity of the particle. What is the speed? What is the velocity? What is the speed? What is the velocity? Giving you some time, you do this. Try this to do yourself. Try this. So, what are your answers? What is the answer? For number 1, speed. Answer 1, speed of the particle as it moves from A to B is the total rasta travelled, that means this path, divided by time is given 10 seconds, this t. So, what is the answer? So, it would be pi r by 2. This part is 1/4 of the total circumference of the circle. 1/4 of total 2 pi r. So, it is how much? Pi r by 2. That is the path travelled, divided by time is 10 seconds t. Okay. So, it becomes equal to pi r by 20, and the unit would be if the unit is given that this is r meter, if the unit of radius is given r meter, then you can write the unit meter per second. So pi r by 20 is the right answer of speed. If you have got that, very good. Then comes, what is the velocity of this particle? Velocity means displacement of the person or particle divided by time. Now displacement means, shortcut I told you, first point to last point with an arrow, put an arrow, first point to last point. So this is the displacement. This is the displacement of the particle, first point to last point, this part. So that displacement, now let us find this displacement. How much has it come, displacement? Yes, right. But let us simplify that. So this displacement, that is this hypotenuse, is again a part of this triangle. This is a right angle triangle. This is a right angle triangle. So out of for this right angle triangle, this is the hypotenuse. So this hypotenuse would be how much? This hypotenuse would be how much? Root over of r square plus r square. So this displacement is root under r square plus r square. Divided by time is 10 seconds. This gives us 2r square. Root over of 2r square means root 2, so root 2 हो जाएगा. R square and root over will give us r. Root 2r by 10. Again, if r is given in meter, so the unit would be meter per second. So this is the displacement of the particle, first point to last point. याद रखना, displacement has a shortcut to understand, and that displacement can easily be found from this idea: first point to last point. First point to last point. Specify the direction of velocity, no? So you may write here. See, I may give you a simple clue that this is r and this is r. So isn't it an isosceles triangle at least? Isosceles, two sides are equal. This is 90. Oh, bhai sahab, hilo mat. So this is 90 degree. So isn't it an isosceles right angle triangle? So what are the angles then? This is 90 degree, we know. 45. Very good. This is 45 degree and this is also 45 degree. That's why I told you that the direction of this velocity, first point to last point, is directed along A to B in such a way that it makes an angle of 45 degree with vertical. With, yes.
Sir, I did not understand why is it that negative y-axis?
Because if this is the origin, if you consider that this is the origin, then with respect to this samne x-axis and this is y-axis. So this is the y-axis upwards and this is the x-axis forward. So any direction opposite to them will be negative. So if you are considering the angle with this straight line, this falls below the point A. This line falls below the point A. That means below this will be negative. And above this point will be positive. Oye, क्या हो गया? এটা কি হলো? যা ভাই, হ্যাঁ ঠিক আছে. Okay, so it is not a very important at this point of time to understand. Don't worry about that. We'll be doing that later also. Don't worry about that. This is not mandatory. Mandatory is you need to show a direction, and that direction you need to show a direction, and that direction भाई undo हो जा और नहीं हो रहा, ठीक है? So that direction is 45 degree with vertical. At least 8 I use करो. 45 degree with vertical, that is easy term to understand, है ना? ताले positive y axis, negative y axis, ইউজ করার দরকার নেই। আদারওয়াইজ ইফ সামওয়ান ওয়ান্টস টু সে দিস ডাইরেকশন উইথ এক্স অ্যাক্সিস, then positive x axis na negative x axis, if you are confused, use the term horizontal. Angle of this much with horizontal, that means maybe positive x axis, that is horizontal, maybe negative x axis, that is also horizontal. Similarly vertical, that is a better term, maybe positive y axis, negative y axis, you need not to specify, don't worry. Okay, so with negative y axis may have another alternative word, that is vertical, with vertical. Bas. Okay, now let us move to this thing. What? Let us find another velocity. Okay.
Sir, I had a doubt.
Yes. Sir,
The direction is of the line AB or AO?
AB,
So,
not
sir,
AO.
why is it Y? Because
Oh, it is at an angle of 45 degree with y axis, not along the y axis. 45 degree away with y axis. মানে কি, suppose আমি এখানে দেখাচ্ছি, suppose if this is x axis, this is y axis, so this is negative y axis. Okay, now if you specify a direction like this, AB, what was it, MD, AB, so how do we say direction? দেখো direction has got two things, like I said in the last class. আবার বলছি শোনো, direction এর দুটো জিনিস হয়। We represent any direction by two things. Number one is we put an arrow, and number two is we show an angle. These two things together make a direction. Suppose if I tell you that a person is running in this direction, which direction? 30 degree. Then is it right direction that I have shown? I have shown what? An angle I have shown. But is there any arrow? No, that is missing. So unless I say or put an arrow this side or this side, we cannot be sure whether it is moving upwards or downwards. So whenever we show direction, we show by two things. Remember, from this level of your study, class 9, it will go with you maybe lifelong if you are with physics. Otherwise, as long as you apply physics. These are basic ideas. No, you cannot find this in books, but these are, a student is supposed to know this. So direction means arrow and angle. So I have put an arrow here. Now what is remaining is an angle. Now angle, either it has to be with x axis. Angle is shown with a straight line. How do we show angle? With a straight line. So straight line either can be y axis wala, a straight line, or x axis wala, this straight line. So we find from this triangle that this is 90 degree, 45 degree, 45 degree. So this angle 45 degree is with y axis na x axis. With what? Y axis? That's why we said the angle is 45 degree with y axis, like this. Okay. So anyway, let us move to next page. Chalo. Now we will be doing another thing. What? Average. Acha, let us before that, let us know another interesting fact. That is, if this question appears, when is velocity actually let us write magnitude of velocity. Magnitude of velocity, when is magnitude of velocity is equal to, when is magnitude of velocity is equal to the speed. When is this? Magnitude of velocity is equal to the speed. Velocity and speed, came from this definition part. Speed was distance travelled by time, velocity was displacement by time. If these two are equal, time to cancel. Then these two would be equal if these two are equal. That means these two are equal. So when distance and displacement are equal, how can that happen? You have to understand very easily. Suppose if a particle, I am giving you an easy example. Suppose a particle moves through a curved path, any curved path from A to B, any curved path, any shape. Then the path travelled is the curve itself. The path travelled is the curve itself. But displacement would be straight distance, first point to last point. Now you tell me which color is longer, green or pink? Which color is longer length? Green one. So if a particle moves in a curved path, then it travels more path than if the particle moves straight. The straight part is called displacement. Now I am giving you another example where no green, no curved. Then a particle moves from C to D. Suppose a person runs from C to D. अरे मैं कर दिखाया ऐसा करके खड़ा है ऐसे. So the person runs from C to D. Now tell me, what is the displacement of this person? Displacement CD, straight distance CD. And what is the path travelled by this person? Distance travelled CD. Same ही तो है. So this kind of motion, yellow color, is called 1D motion. It means what? One dimensional motion. It means what? The particle, simple meaning is what you know? Simple meaning is the particle is moving in a straight path. That is called one dimensional motion. या तो x axis or y axis or z axis straight. So 1D motion, in bracket write straight path. So whenever a particle or a person moves in a straight path, the motion is called 1D motion. Then velocity mod means what? Modulus. I told you last class. Modulus means only the value. Modulus means. The modulus velocity, that means value of the velocity and the distance travelled or path travelled are equal if a particle moves in a straight path. Magnitude of velocity, this mod of velocity means magnitude of velocity, and distance means the path travelled by it. These two are equal when the particle moves in a straight path. Put an arrow like annotation like this. So it means that this type of motion will give you this result. But here in this picture, the displacement is shorter and the path travelled, that is the distance, is longer. So distance is either longer than path travelled, displacement. Distance is either longer than displacement or equal to displacement. Earlier we had written that. But when are they equal? So what would be the answer of this question? When are the velocity, magnitude of velocity, value of the velocity and the speed are equal? When will this happen?
When the object travels in a
Straight path, in bracket we will write 1D motion. Very good. So that is the answer. So I am writing the answer here. When an object, but in place of object you write particle. When a particle moves in a straight path in bracket write 1D motion then write the rest of the part, that is the magnitude of velocity and path traveled, the magnitude of velocity and speed are equal. That is the answer to this question, and these are the visuals of those meanings. How should it look like? So, in 1D motion, let us find average speed is the next topic. Average speed. By the way, can you say, practical question, competency based question. Suppose you are riding a car, your father is driving that, your father. Now, you looked at the speedometer provided by the side of the steering or inside, I mean in between the or inside that steering wheel. If it is digital, I mean by the side of the steering, that is better. So, you look at that speedometer, maybe analog or digital value, whatever it is, suppose analog, kaanta ghum raha hai aise. So, you see the speedometer and you see that the speed is saying something around say 60 km per hour. It is reading 60, the kaanta reading 60. What kind of speed is it? As you are looking at the speedometer and looking at the reading, suppose after 5 minutes you are looking through the window and then after 5 minutes you again saw that and it was 65 km per hour. Then these values 60, 65 km per hour, these values are called instantaneous speed. So, the reading of the speedometer shows us instantaneous speed. Reading of speedometer in a car. तो कार का स्पीडोमीटर प्रैक्टिकली हम लोग क्या देखते हैं? We see the readings as instantaneous speed. That means at certain moment what was the speed? At some next moment changed time, what is the speed? Those instant speeds are called instantaneous speed. Where do we get this reading from? Speedometer. Now, let us come to average speed. Average speed, that is V average AVG, is given by this thing, total path travelled, because speed means path or the distance. You may write distance also in place of path. So, anyway, total path travelled divided by total time taken. This is the formula. Total path travelled by total time taken. Now, total path travelled by a particle, we will use this term particle, not object, particle, because object may be longer, wider. So, it may rest or move with different points together, grabbing more space. So, you cannot say it moved from A to B, because an object which may be larger may have its position at A, B, C, D, including more points than one. That is why a point only exists at a single, a particle exists at a single point only. So, we will use the term particle in mechanics, I mean this part. So, total path travelled by a particle in divided by total time taken. Suppose total path travelled are S1, S2, S3 and S4, S5, anything, but let us consider 3 only, S1 plus S2 plus S3. This is the total path travelled by a particle. And what is the total time taken by the particle? It is T1, T2, T3. No, I don't get it. भाई total path traveled S क्यों नहीं हुआ? तीनों का combination क्यों है? And why are the times given like this, T1, T2 and T3? Why not like we did earlier? कि भाई इतना टाइम में इतना गया, हो गया बात. तो in that case the S should have been a single one, T should have been a single one like the previous cases. तो यहाँ पे ऐसे 3 क्यों? Because picture says 1000 words. Like the particle did not move with the same speed all the path. That means the particle, by green color आ जा, the particle moved this path from A to B maybe with a speed v1, and then suppose ये ट्रैफिक जैम था, बहुत ही ट्रैफिक था, हेवी ट्रैफिक, तो गाड़ी थोड़ा स्लो भगाना पड़ा. दैट मीन्स द वेलोसिटी वाज समथिंग डिफरेंट v1. देन यू सडनली सॉ कि अरे रास्ता क्लियर हो गया, देन गाड़ी भगाए हाई स्पीड से, चलो v2, और तब लगा कि भाई इतना पैसा खर्चा करके गाड़ी खरीदे हैं, वर्दी. एंड देन गलत फहमी, अगला बार सी कि इतना ज्यादा जैम है, स्पीड बहुत बहुत कम करना पड़ा. सो द लास्ट स्पीड ऑफ योर मोशन टिल यू रीच होम वॉज वेरी स्लो स्पीड v3. सो ऐसा है, तब लगा कि भाई ये गाड़ी ना खरीद के रिक्शा खरीद लेते बेटर होता, भाई जल्दी पहुंच जाते, कम से कम बाइक से चले जाते, इतना एक्सपेंसिव कार खरीदे. So anyway, so this is a practical situation where you move with a different speed, say v1, and you manage that distance in time t1. Similarly, you moved with a different speed, maybe very high speed, for another time, maybe t2, maybe कि उसका double time तुम चले with a speed v2, and then you are moving with a speed v3, which is very less, maybe very small time, कितना t3, या तो large time t3. Now you think of that situation, सामने procession जा रहा है and you have to follow very slowly through that road, तो time बहुत ज़्यादा हो जाएगा t3. What I mean to say, you are not traveling the whole path with a single velocity or speed. You are traveling the path with different speeds, but the time for which you moved with those speeds are also different. That's why we have to write the formula with those different velocities, but just try to have a relation. S1 displacement तो हुआ path travel or displacement. If it is velocity, average velocity, we will consider these to be displacements. If it is given average speed, we will consider this as to be path traveled or distance. Okay, बाकी if it is following a straight path or a linear motion, then distance and displacement are all the same, but we will take care while writing the words. Why? Because if it is given average speed, we will be using s to be distance path traveled, simple term. Okay, so s1 जब रास्ता गया ना, s1, see the picture, this v1 speed से जितना रास्ता गया ना s1, वो और कोई नहीं है, ab है, तो this distance is s1 actually. So s1 is the distance moved with velocity v1 and in time t1. This is the relation between all these three. Okay, similarly, this is the distance s2 traveled in time t2, and finally c2d, this is the distance s3 traveled in time t3. So this is the relation. s2 जब t2 टाइम लिया, s3 पाथ ट्रेवल किया when it took a time t3, like this. Okay, तो ऐसा है. So we find what actually, we find total path traveled by, इसमें s1 गया, s2 गया, s3 गया, so what has been the total path ad? What is the total path ad? Summation of s1 plus s2 plus s3, like this. So we found that in the numerator, divided by what is the total time taken for this whole journey. So यहाँ पे लगा t1, यहाँ पे लगा t2, here t3. So total time taken is sum of those three. So total rasta by total time is the total average of the speed that it has been moving with. That is the meaning of V average. So this has this formula. Let us find it or understand it with the help of an example. And that is, suppose a car, this car you have bought after getting the first salary. I hope you will be getting enough salary to buy a car with the first salary. I mean, at least in installment to the anyway. So this car is moving on a straight road. Straight road means what? Why are these words given? Straight road, physics में कोई effect है? Straight road है. Straight means 1D motion. That is the effect. Distance and displacement are same. So it is moving on a straight road and it starts from a point A and then goes to a point B. You need not to draw the car again and again, just write the points. It moves from A to B and then finally it reaches C. It reaches C. Now A to B, that is AB, has been travelled A to C in say 1 minute. And the distance AB equals to 1 kilometer. 1 kilometer. And BC is a little shorter. BC equals to 0.5 kilometer, half kilometer. Half kilometer. And the time that you have taken to reach C from B is 30 seconds. No, not 30 seconds. 15 seconds. अरे वाह, बहुत जल्दी पहुंच गए. 15 seconds. So what is your average speed? If you write average velocity, would it be right or wrong? Average speed or average velocity? Right. Because it is moving straight path, 1D motion, same ही होगा distance और displacement. Anyway, तो चलो फॉर्मूला में चलते हैं. अब उतना सोचना नहीं है. फॉर्मूला क्या है? टोटल पाथ ट्रैवल्ड बाय टोटल टाइम टेकन. अब यहाँ पे कितना तरह का पाथ ट्रैवलिंग हुआ? 2 तरह के. सो जस्ट राइट 2 वैल्यूज, S1 S2 और नीचे टाइम 2 तरह के, T1 T2 इक्वल्स टू. अब S1 दिया हुआ है. अब मेरा सजेशन है कि make these values, try to make these values in SI system. So convert S in terms of meter and convert T in terms of seconds. Always go with meter per second. So total path traveled is how much? 1000 meter. S1, we know this. This is S1, 1000 meter. And this is S2. 0.5 means half of 1000, that is 500 meter. This is 500 meter. So total path traveled 1000 and 500 divided by total time taken 1 minute converted into seconds 60. Then T2, second time taken 15 seconds. So it is 15 seconds. Okay. So we get it 1500 by 75. Unit would be ऊपर में मीटर था, नीचे सेकंड था. So it is meter per second. And we know that this 75 twos are 150, 150. 75 twos are 150. So it is 20 meter per second. This is the average speed. 20 meter per second is the average speed. Okay, this is how we find average speed. 20 meter per second. Okay, so first thing is this. Second thing, अब ना थोड़ा सा ट्विस्टेड करके देंगे. चलो, let us embrace this. A point, B point, C point and D point. So there are 3 paths actually now. Draw this. 3 paths. क्या क्या path है? तो एक तो है A to B. ये जो है ना, ये 10 मीटर पर सेकेंड लेके गाड़ी स्टार्ट किया. बाप रे, बहुत हाई स्पीड है, 10 मीटर पर सेकेंड. एंड देन द कार मूव्स विथ, चलो 20 मीटर पर सेकेंड. ओफ, हाईवे मिल गया. मुंबई टू सूरत highway. If you have ever gone, I had been once when I used to do my job in Surat as an engineer. Then I used to travel through those paths. Makhan, so smooth roads. Anyway, 20 meter per second. And finally from C to D, स्लो हो गया भाई, घर आने लगा, ट्रैफिक बढ़ने लगा, 5 मीटर पर सेकेंड ओनली. Here you moved with 10 meter per second for say 1 minute, with 20 meter per second for 10 minutes. अरे वाह, मजा आ गया. 10 minutes. And with 5 meter per second, 5 meter per second with 20 seconds only. 20 seconds, slow down करके रुक गए. 20 seconds. So you have used 3 different velocities. V1 is how much? See, during the first journey AB, the speed was V1. V2 is how much? During the second part of the journey BC, you have been moving with 20 meter per second. And during the third part of the journey CD, you have been moving with another velocity, that is 5 meter per second. And in 3 cases, the time taken are different. So you have to find what? Question is, find average speed of your car. So the idea is, what we have learned so far. We have learned V average is given by S1, S2, and there is another part. So let us write S3. If there are 4 parts, we will be writing plus S4. Anyway, and 3 times are T1, T2 and T3. So this is the basic formula idea that we have learned, we have practiced so far. Now, do we see any distance given S1? That means AB distance is given or not? No distance is given. BC is given, length. S2, no. CD, no. So we are not given these values of S1, S2, S3. Then what are we given? We are given the time T1, 60 seconds. Oh, T1 is given then. Time T2, 60 minutes, that means 600 seconds. Similarly, time T3 for the third case, that is 20 seconds. Okay, it is 20 seconds in seconds only. So we are given T1, T2, T3. Yes, T1, T2, T3 given. Are we given S1, S2, S3? No, these are not given. So we need to convert them in some meaningful form that we know. What we know? Velocities are known. Now my question to you is, can you relate velocity to distance traveled or displacement S and V? Can you relate S and V? Telling you simple formula that you have been doing this from class 7 maybe or 8. S is equal to Vt. Path traveled or displacement is given by speed into time or velocity into time, if the velocity remains constant. So write S is equal to Vt. साइड में एक स्टार देके ना ऐसे लिख के रखो, साइड में एक स्टार देके क्या कि S is equal to Vt कब होता है वो भी लिख के रखो. फॉर कांस्टेंट वेलोसिटी. कांस्टेंट टर्म का और एक माने है क्या? यूनिफॉर्म. माने समझाऊंगा, इसका बाद समझाऊंगा. पहले लिख के रखो, पहले जान के रखो इसको कि S is equal to Vt का माने क्या है. If a particle moves with a speed v for a time t, then the path traveled by it is given by S is equal to Vt. देख के लग रहा है बा ये बहुत बढ़िया एक फिजिक्स का फॉर्मूला सीखा है, S is equal to Vt. वाह, सोते सोते ये सोचते रहेगा अच्छा S is equal to Vt. ऐसा नहीं है. It is very easy and simple if you try to understand, realize physics. Like क्या है? Suppose मैं तुम्हें बोल रहा हूँ, suppose a car has a speed say 5 meter per second. इसका क्या माने क्या हुआ कि the car moves by 5 meter in 1 second. तो if a car moves by 5 meter in 1 second, तो in 10 seconds how much will the car move? 10 times of this. In each second 5 meter, so 10 second में कितना move कर जाएगा? 10 times of this. Second cancel, so it would be how much? 50 meter. This is this. This velocity is what? V. This is what? T. 10 seconds. And this 50 meter is what? Yes. Oh my God, this is so easy. S is equal to Vt is nothing but, if a particle moves with a velocity v meter per second, what does it mean? In 1 second it moves v distance. V meter, meter is the distance. Then 1 second it moves v distance. So in t seconds it would be moving t times extra distance, more distance. So in 1 second, if this is v meter per second, in 1 second it moves v distance. So in t seconds it will be moving v into t distance. That's why S is equal to, when a path traveled is v into t. That is it is. Anyway, so चलो ये तो इसको थोड़ा हटा रहा हूँ, because लेकिन ये जरूरी था भाई, जरूरी था. अच्छा ठीक है, साइड में तो लिख के रखा हूँ, ये तो साइड में लिखा हुआ. तो what I mean to say is that let us think this sum in viewpoint of this formula, S is equal to Vt, and that gives us what? See, T1, T2, T3 are given, but S1, S2, S3 were not given. And now that we have been illuminated, enlightened by this formula S is equal to Vt, we can write in place of S what? V1, T1. S is equal to Vt. So for first case, V is V1, time is T1. Okay. Second case, S2. S2 would be how much? Vt, that means V2 into T2. Second case. Third case, S3. S3 means path traveled in third case. So V in third case is V3 and T in third case is T3. So write V3 T3. That means Vt लिखो सिर्फ फर्स्ट केस में 1 1, सेकंड केस में 2 2, थर्ड केस में 3 3. So V1 T1, V2 T2, V3 T3 divided by T1 plus T2 plus T3. ये तो ठीक ही है, इसको लेकर कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं. क्यों? Because its values are given. ये तो है. Now क्या, एक लाइन सिर्फ वैल्यू पुटिंग एंड गेटिंग द आंसर. मे भी थोड़ा कैलकुलेशन करना पड़े, वो तो मैं ऐसे बना के दिया, हो सकता है. तो वी विल लीव टफ कैलकुलेशंस, उसको नहीं करना है, बिकॉज योर वैल्यूज वुड बी गिवन वेरी इजी, डोंट वरी. लेट्स पुट द वैल्यूज फर्स्ट. V1 T1, S1 का बदले में हम लोग पुट कर दिए V1 T1, माने को समझो, बिकॉज S इज इक्वल टू Vt. तो V1 T1, V1 क्या दिया हुआ है? दिया हुआ है ना 10. एंड बी केयरफुल अबाउट द यूनिट्स. SI सिस्टम, सिंपल. मीटर पर सेकेंड, हाँ है. क्या ये मिनट ना, ये तो मिनट में है, इसको क्या करना पड़ा? सेकेंड. सो ओके, V1 और T1 प्लस हो गया, इसको ब्रैकेट में डालो. तो मेक अ गुड हैबिट ऑफ पुटिंग देम इन ब्रैकेट सो दैट यू डोंट कंफ्यूज योरसेल्फ. ठीक है, चलो. V2 T2, V2 कितना है भाई? V2 कहाँ गया? ये रहा V2 20. एंड T2 इज हाउ मच कन्वर्टेड टू सेकेंड्स? बाप रे, 600. यहीं पे तो मजे लिए गाड़ी चला के कि वी मेंटेन्ड अ हाई स्पीड. अच्छा, थर्ड V3 T3. V3 is how much? V3 is ये 5 मीटर पर सेकेंड. एंड T3 for how long you have been driving this? 20 seconds. ये तो हो गया. V1 T1, V2 T2, V3 T3 divided by T1 plus T2 plus T3. Let us add these 60, 600 and this then 20. बाप रे, कैलकुलेशन तो बहुत बड़ा आ रहा है. क्या आ रहा है? 600, ये आ गया 600 प्लस पहला वाला हो गया, सेकंड वाला 12,000. बाप रे, 12,000 प्लस ये 100. हाँ चलो, ये बचा दिया 100 डिवाइडेड बाय नीचे 660 प्लस 20, 680. सो अल्टीमेटली इट गिव्स अस 12,000 प्लस 600 प्लस 100, ये दोनों मिलकर 700 हो गया, और 12,000. सो 12,700 डिवाइडेड बाय 680. भाई तू 700 हो जाता, आराम से काट देते. तो एनीवे कोई बात नहीं, एक जीरो तो कैंसिल हुआ. एंड देन कम्स 1270 by 68. यू कैलकुलेट इट बाय योरसेल्फ. 1270 by 68. ठीक है, तो इसको एक काम करते हैं कि वी कैन कैंसिल दिस. So it is coming as 18.68. This much meter per second. Average speed, meter per second, 18.68. So notice करके देखो, this average speed comes more than the least value 5 was the least value among the 3 speeds or velocities. So more than that, but less than the highest value. That is average. Anyway, so that was one sum. Similarly, let us do this thing. So AB equals to 1 kilometer and BC equals to 6 kilometer. What is our task? We have to find average speed. Now again, you are given some time. Try to practice this based on the last one. चलो last sum देखो, idea बनाओ, practice करो इसे. Try this. আবার অন করতে না ভুলে যায়. বলো আনসার বলো.
Sir, average velocity হচ্ছে 23.3 meter per second.
23.3 মিটার পার সেকেন্ড. আচ্ছা, হতে পারে. এই সামটা করে না, আমি তোমাদের দুটো শর্টকাট ফর্মুলা বলবো. হ্যাঁ, কিন্তু আগে এই সামটা বানিয়ে নাও. ঠিক আছে, আমি দেখছি পুরুষোত্তম, ইফ ইট ইজ রাইট, তো যেদিন সামনে পাবো তোমাকে এই হাজরা সুইটস থেকে এত বড় একটা বর্নভিল ক্যাডবেরি দেবো, যদি রাইট হয়, কন্ডিশন আছে। হাজরা সুইটস জানো পুরুষোত্তম কোথায় আছে? জানো না? না, আচ্ছা, যেখানে বিএনআর ব্রিজটা আছে, বিএনআর ব্রিজটা চেনো? জানো না?
হ্যাঁ স্যার, নাম শুনে।
ও আচ্ছা, সেন্ট প্যাট্রিক্স লরেটো ওর পাশে, খুব নাম করা ওটা, যাই হোক, চলো। সো লেট আস ট্রাই টু সলভ দিস, চলো লেট আস ট্রাই টু সলভ দিস। ইয়েস, ওয়ান্ট টু সে এনিথিং?
Sir, actually,
Huh.
23.33.
20, okay, 23.33 you said the answer. Let us see that. Let us see that. Let us solve this. The idea is this. V average was given by the basic formula was this, and as there are two velocities concerned, two cases concerned, so S1 plus S2 by T1 plus T2. Now, S1 given, yes, path S1 is given, S2 given, yes, given. But are the times given T1 and T2? No. So we need to replace these times. How? We have learnt a very useful formula. S is equal to Vt. S is equal to Vt. So from this we can find that T equals to S by V. This will guide us to find time related to these two motions. So in the first case, time is given by, in the first case, S is 1 kilometer. Let us convert it to meter, 1000 meter, divided by T, divided by V. V is 10 meter per second. So S is 100 meter. Okay. So for the first case we got S 100 meter, and for the second case, what would be S? For the second case, S2. This is S1. S1 is this much, and this is S2. S2 is again S by V. Sorry, not S2. T2. And this is T1. So T1 is this much, and let us find T2. T2 in the second case again S by V. In the second case, S is how much? S is 6 kilometer. Oh my God, so much, 6000 meter, divided by time is, time we are going to find that speed is 30 meter per second. 0 cancel, arey wow. 3 2s are 6, 200. So time is 200 seconds, and here time was 100, not meter but seconds. So 100 second and 200 second are the times, and the path traveled which are given as 1 kilometer. So let me write 1000 meter plus, then it is 6 kilometer. थोड़ा इसको हटा लेता हूँ. Then it is 6 kilometer. So let me write 6000 meter. S1 S2 हो गया, divided by T1 plus T2, total time. T1 अरे मिला 100, T2 अरे हाँ मिला 200. So we get that this is 7000 divided by 300. 1 0 ढींच के आऊँ, 2 0 ढींच के आऊँ. So we get 770 by 3. So 3 2s are 6, 1 10, 3 3s are 9, and then 1 10, 3 3s are 3 3s are, then it goes on repeating itself. So we can keep our answer limited to 2 digits after decimal, 23.233. So the answer is average speed equals to 23.33 meter per second. This is the answer. Yes, you got right answer. You got the answer? Okay, very good. Okay, no problem. Be happy with it. No problem. But very good. Those who got the answers, very good. Okay. Next, as I promised, some minutes are left, but as I promised, shortcut बताऊंगा कैसे. And these are more common to come in exams. Even in your engineering medical exams in class 12, after class 12 you may find this, as well as in your class 9. See, these are so easy, right? Case 1, I'll not take much time. Chalo, let us do fast. Case 1, the particle moves to equal distances इन कुछ लिखने की जरूरत नहीं, टू इक्वल डिस्टेंसेस, यही केस बनाओ, यही केस को बनाएंगे क्या, इक्वल डिस्टेंसेस, पार्टिकल कैसे जा रहा है, दो इक्वल डिस्टेंसेस जा रहा है, ऐसे होने से क्या होगा देखो, राइट, वी एवरेज इक्वल्स टू S1 प्लस S2 डिवाइडेड बाय T1 प्लस T2, अब स्पीड्स अलग होगा, हाँ, टू इक्वल डिस्टेंसेस विथ डिफरेंट स्पीड्स, स्पीड अलग होगा, सब चीज अगर सेम हो जाएगा तब तो मुश्किल है, टू डिफरेंट विथ डिफरेंट स्पीड्स और वेलोसिटीज, यू मे राइट, विथ डिफरेंट स्पीड्स, ठीक है, मतलब V1 V2 अलग है पर S1 S2 सेम ही है, तो यहां पे क्या दिया, इक्वल डिस्टेंसेस, सो लेट अस कंसीडर, लेट द distances are equal to x, distances are equal to x, that means what, that means what, S1 भी x है, S2 भी x है, एक अच्छा सा कलर ढूंढता हूं मैं, ये कलर मिल गया, चलो, that means let the equal distances be x, so S1 कितना है, S1 x है, S2 कितना है, S2 भी x है, so it is x plus x in place of S1 plus S2 divided by T1 plus T2, अरे ये तो मुश्किल हो गया, T1 T2 तो not given, so as we did S is equal to Vt, anytime if you don't have all the three and you not be having, then try to replace any one with the help of the other two, S, V और T में कितना आदमी है, 16 मूवी नहीं चल रहा है, ऐसे पूछ रहा हूं मैं, कितना आदमी है, 3, S, V and T, and out of that if you are not having the value of T, तो एक काम करते हैं ना, T को निकालने के लिए let us represent T in terms of S and V, sorry, S is equal to Vt ना, क्या हो रहा है भाई, S is equal to Vt, so let us find T like this, S by V, ठीक है, तो S by V, let us represent T1 by X by V1, because path traveled to X in both the cases, time means distance by velocity by speed, plus T2 is again X by V2, T2 is again X by V2, so what we get, the numerator becomes 2x, the denominator, see here, the denominator, if we take x common, then do the calculation part, 1 by V1 plus 1 by V2, x plus x, 2x बन गया, नीचे कितना आया देखो, नीचे x by V1 plus x by V2, तो you can easily take x common, so that 1 by V1 and 1 by V2 is remaining within the bracket, now we can easily cancel x, कितना अच्छा लग रहा है, x cancel, now do a simple math, कैसे भाई, 2 तो 2 रह गया, ये नीचे क्या हो जाएगा, V1 V2 LCM कर लो, V1 V2, ऊपर में 2 को रखो, नहीं तो उसको खराब लगेगा कि भाई हमको हटा रहे हैं आप, बोला नहीं भाई तू रह जा, नीचे वाला पार्ट पहले कर लेता हूँ, कैसे, V1 V2 LCM, देन यहाँ पे, ओ भाई डांस मत करो, हाँ अच्छा, V1 V2 LCM, सो ऊपर में क्या हो जाएगा, V2 plus V1, एंड नाउ द होल थिंग टर्न्स upwards, V1 V2 ऊपर उठ जाएगा, so it will become therefore V average equals to, याद रखना इसको, कितना दिन, at least 4 years, up to class 12 it will help you, साथ निभाएगा, कैसे, 2 V1 V2, ऊपर में 2 था, ये V1 V2 जाम करके ऊपर आ जाएगा, तो 2 V1 V2, नीचे क्या बच गया, V1 plus V2, ये कब होगा, it will happen whenever this thing happens, so let us relate this ऐसे. Whenever a particle covers to equal distances, then its average speed will be having a direct formula 2 v1 v2 by v1 plus v2. 2 v1 v2 by v1 plus v2. I told you two ideas. This is the last idea, but if just similar to that, just 2 lines only. If the particle covers, पिछला बार क्या किए थे, 2 equal distances किए थे. इस बार क्या करेंगे, covers 2 distances. अब इक्वल है कि नहीं ये बता नहीं सकते, पर इन इक्वल टाइम इक्वल है इस बार. तो बॉक्स किसको करेंगे, टाइम को बॉक्स बनाएंगे, लाइक दिस, इक्वल टाइम. नाउ द पार्टिकल इज ट्रैवलिंग डिस्टेंसेस इन इक्वल टाइम. सेम टाइम ले रहा है, मतलब देखने में कैसा होगा, पिछला बार देखने में कैसा होता, पिछला बार भी तो पिक्चर ड्रॉ नहीं किए थे, तो इट would have equal distances with speeds. You know, एक पिक्चर तुम लोग ड्रॉ कर लो. I don't have enough space here, but still I'm trying to squeeze this, bring it to the left, draw this picture here. But डांस मत करना, हाँ चेंज कर लिए. Like this. Suppose equal distances. Suppose A and B is a path. Let me divide it into 2 equal parts. मिड पॉइंट का नाम क्या दिए, m is the mid point. That means what, this distance is x and this distance is also x. That means s1 is x, s2 is also x. So it is covering equal distances in equal distance with speed. अलग हो सकता है, इसका स्पीड कितना था v1, इसका स्पीड कितना v2. So it is moving with different speeds, but the path traveled are equal, x and x. That was the last picture. इसको बॉक्स कर लिए, जब मेक श्योर कि हाँ मैं बॉक्स कर लिया, इसको हाँ एनोटेट कर लिया, ऐसे बॉक्स करके इक्वल डिस्टेंसेस. नाउ लेट अस कम टू द न्यू टॉपिक, दैट इज इक्वल टाइम इज, बट डिस्टेंस कुछ भी हो जाए, टाइम इक्वल ले लिया. अब ये देखने में कैसा होगा, देखो ऐसा होगा, जैसे सोच नहीं पाओगे वैसा ही होगा. आई एम नियरली श्योर, 100% नहीं, दैट इट यू हैव नॉट थॉट ऑफ दिस, यू आर नॉट थिंकिंग ऑफ दिस. क्या ये v1 स्पीड लेके गया, ये v2 स्पीड लेके गया इन इक्वल टाइम. इसका क्या मतलब हो गया, इक्वल टाइम का मतलब हो गया a to c जो गया ना, a to c. कलर चेंज किया हुआ नहीं भाई, ओ कलर चेंज हो जाए भाई, हाँ ठीक है. a to c कितना टाइम में गया, t1, which is t, एंड c to b कितना टाइम में गया, अगेन t. पर ये कैसे पॉसिबल है कि इन सेम टाइम ये इतना चला गया, एंड इन द सेकेंड केस इन सेम टाइम इट मूव्स वेरी स्मॉल डिस्टेंस. हाउ कैन इट बी पॉसिबल प्रैक्टिकली, कैन यू थिंक ऑफ दिस? इट कैन बी पॉसिबल that in the first case the velocity v1 or the speed v1 is very high, so you have moved a long distance in some time, and in the second case you decrease the speed, so you have moved a very small amount of distance in the same time. टाइम से में आधा घंटे में तुम गए बहुत ज्यादा डिस्टेंस, और अगला आधा घंटे में you move very small distance. Why? Because the speed v2 might have been very small. That's it. Now we will be finding v average for this. Boss, this is the last part of today's class. V average would be, formula वही है, basic formula s1 plus s2 by t1 plus t2. Total path traveled, total time taken. s1 plus s2, भाई s1 कितना है, t1 t2 तो दोनों t है. t1 plus t2 मालूम है, both are t here from the picture, but we don't know s1 and s2. We will take help of this. S is equal to Vt, so T equals to S by V. नो T तो नहीं चाहिए, हम लोगों को क्या रिप्लेस करना है, S. ओ तब तो इसी से रिप्लेस कर देंगे. कैसे? S is equal to Vt, so in place of S1, let us replace it with S1 को रिप्लेस कर देते हैं. कैसे? V1 फर्स्ट केस में वेलोसिटी, और टाइम कितना लगा, T. टाइम टेकन इज T प्लस हो गया, S1 हो गया. S2 कितना होगा, S2 इज सिमिलरली replaced by Vt, S is equal to Vt, but V in second case has been V2 or time तो same ही है T. So if you can take T common from this, so it becomes V1 plus V2 divided by नीचे T plus T, थोड़ा tough है calculation, मैं बता दे रहा हूँ 2T होगा. Anyway, joking. So this would be 2T, T plus T. TT ढींच के आओ, cancel, and we are having a very मजेदार फॉर्मूला दैट इज एवरेज स्पीड. जैसा होना चाहिए था सबके मन में आता है भाई एवरेज तो ऐड करके 2 से डिवाइड कर देंगे हो जाएगा. यस, इट विल हैपन हियर V1 प्लस V2 डिवाइडेड बाय 2. सो व्हाट डू वी अंडरस्टैंड एंड रिमेंबर फ्रॉम हियर is if a particle moves for equal time with different speeds, the average speed is as expected V1 plus V2 by 2. But if the particle moves equal distances, equal rasta, distances are equal, then average speed is given by 2 V1 V2 by V1 plus V2. These are the two special formulas for this. So, okay, all the best for the next class. Okay, bye.